Let's Ruin It podcast, where we take your favorite pop culture media, put a legal spin on it, and like all lawyers, we ruin it. I am one of your co-hosts. My name is Jenny. I am joined by my lovely co-hosts.
I am Diana.
And I'm Liz.
And we are having a feast of chocolate today because for the three of you who have been following us from the beginning, we love a good theme around here. You know that about us by now. And so today, because we are going to be doing Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, we've decided to have an
feast of chocolate.
array of chocolates. Now, it should be noted, we are doing the original with Gene Wilder, not the weird
1971.
one.
The best one.
Yeah, not the weird one with Johnny Depp. Not
Still
the,
weird.
Yeah, weird.
That was really
Hippy
weird.
dippy, psychedelic.
That was very weird.
Very.
Yeah, but
And
Johnny Depp was
that one was
weirder.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
Yes.
which interestingly is the name of the book. It's a Roald Dahl
Roald
book,
Dahl,
Charlie
yes.
and the Chocolate Factory.
Well, and if we know Roald Dahl, he's a friggin' weirdo.
I love all of his books.
Have
My
you
kids
seen
love the
Witches
books.
or read Witches?
Weird.
Oh my god, yes.
Ooh, scary.
Oh my god, yeah, all
That
of it.
scene in Witches where they pull off their faces has haunted me
Yeah.
What an amazing! I love that movie.
throughout life.
That's Angelica Houston, right? Yes.
Yes, Angelica
I
Houston. She
love
like pulls
that
her
movie.
face off.
But I love all Roald Dahl, and then he also, little known fact, wrote the screenplay for this movie. So the book came out in like 65,
60s, yeah.
64, and then in 71 he went and wrote the screenplay.
Yeah.
So
And again, we're not covering the Timothy Chalamet.
no, only the original
Origin story.
with the brilliant Gene Wilder.
Yes.
He was great.
Incredible,
Yeah.
and the whole movie. It's one of my favorites.
Before we really dive into it and really go into kind of like the details of it, can we all agree that he's a psychopath?
Yes.
Complete.
Complete
Seeing
psychopath.
it now as an adult through this lens was like completely eye-opening. I was shocked.
Okay, so I have a confession.
Yeah, go on.
I actually never saw Willy Wonka
What?
until we decided to do this.
No,
movie.
really?
Yes. So,
But it came out in 71.
okay, which was the year before I was born.
Right,
So
you had
thank
so much. You had more opportunity
So
than we
thank
did.
you.
You had more opportunity.
For once, this is a movie that I wasn't even born for.
I know. we'll do like Gone with the Wind next, okay?
Yikes. Yikes. No, you can do my favorite movie of all time, which is The Wizard of Oz.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Absolute favorite.
Oh, there's a lot of things to talk about
and then
there.
we could do Wicked after that.
Oh, I love Wicked. too.
But
So,
okay, so you didn't
So
grow up
I
with this
never
movie.
saw it. So I didn't see it as a kid. I saw it as my 50-something-year-old self
and you're
right
thinking to
now.
yourself, sir, you're a sociopath and you need to be committed.
He's crazy, yet I have to say, I still loved it.
Well, because he's
Like-
amazing at playing him.
The
Like he
whole-
played it really well.
I found the whole thing really entertaining, really fun, even though, like, again, I don't have the childhood memory of loving it. It was a great movie. I have to say, it was a great movie.
Did you grow up with this movie?
It didn't ruin it for me, seeing it as an adult.
I don't think it was ever like a beloved film for me. I think I just kind of watched it and I don't know, it was what it was type of thing.
I think I would put this at like in the top 3 of my childhood
Nice.
favorites. Like, and my whole family loves it, has seen it. Like, we all love Willy Wonka.
Well, tell them to the extremes that you went to with your love, Diana, please.
I was just telling them that my son, who's now 9, but 8 years ago when we had his first birthday, it was like at a big like hall for like 200 people, and we did a Willy Wonka themed birthday party, and we sent every guest an invitation with a chocolate bar, full-size chocolate bar with a golden ticket.
Not the mini size, guys.
No, a big one, and it had a golden ticket and had information on there about the party, and we had these
She showed us the pictures. It was amazing.
amazing balloon sculptures that like were candies and ice creams.
So what you're saying is that you're a fan.
I'm a fan.
You're
I'm
a
a fan,
fan
but
of
I
Willy
hadn't
Wonka.
seen it in so many years, and then I had watched
Show everyone what you're drinking, Diana. You're a fan.
a cup of M&Ms, but it's a really small cup, so
It's fine. It's fine.
But yeah, rewatching it now, this is what I wrote down when I concluded. I said, a legal minefield disguised as a whimsical candy-coated fantasy.
Ooh.
That is how I
That
view
should
it now.
Listen
That
to
should be,
you
yeah.
like a Siskel and
I
Ebert.
know,
That was
I'm a
pretty-
poet and I don't even know it.
That should be on the movie poster.
I know, oh my God.
I like
Wait,
that.
Josh, you should throw that up as the caption for when we post this.
Yes.
Read it again.
That was impressive.
A legal minefield disguised as a whimsical candy-coated fantasy. That's
Well, then,
right.
honestly, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So, everyone knows the story of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. This guy, he's a hermit. No one's ever seen him, hasn't seen him in years, and he runs this amazing chocolate factory that mass produces
All this kinds of candy.
all the candy in the
No
world.
one knows what goes on back there, who works there, or anything. It's all secret.
Yes.
And then he announces that he is
once in a lifetime concept.
opening up this factory for 5 lucky winners.
Yeah.
And a parent each. And the winners are chosen if they buy a Wonka bar and have a golden ticket in that Wonka bar.
That right there is illegal. Did you guys catch that? It's a sweepstakes law violation.
Go on.
You're not allowed.
You're not allowed to make it based on a purchase.
That's right. You know how every
Right.
time you see like a sweepstakes or a commercial, it's always in fine print, or they always say very quickly,
No
no
purchase
purchase
required.
necessary.
Yeah,
right?
Even though purchase is kind of required.
Sure,
Yes.
but the idea is that technically you don't have to purchase something. You can like enter online, or you can enter by mail before the internet was a thing. Right. In this case, the only way to enter is to buy a
the
chocolate bar.
An interesting, I didn't do the research on this, but whether in 1971, when the movie came out, were those laws already in place for sweepstakes?
I think even if they were, nobody cared.
Right. I guess they didn't. 'Cause
According to Joshua and his marvelous research, yes, the law did exist when that came out, but they weren't as standardized or strictly enforced as they are today.
So the problem is, and it's exactly what we see in the movie, is that all of these rich, spoiled kids are getting their parents to buy
Boxes
tons
of them,
of
yeah.
chocolate
Like
just to find the ticket.
Veruca. Oh my God, he had his entire factory of workers. Their entire job for what, 24 hours times how
Was
many
to
days?
open- It was
just like-
to
it was like a sweatshop of
It
like
was
these
a
women who were
sweatshop
just
of
opening these.
opening chocolate bars.
And didn't he say whoever finds it, I'm going to give you a bonus of like $1 or something like that?
No,
he
no,
said.
No,
Was
it
it?
was more than that.
It was something.
I can't remember.
It was something
But
very
yeah,
minimal.
like he just had a factory of people whose entire job was to find one of these golden tickets.
Yes,
Yep.
and Veruca Salt was kept
best.
saying, "I find it, Daddy. I want it."
Yes.
I want the golden ticket.
I mean, and we'll get into this because she says it later in the movie, but I say, I want an Oompa Loompa, Daddy. I want an Oompa Loompa now. Like all the time, whenever my kids are like, I want this and I want this, I want this, and I'm like, I want an Oompa Loompa, Daddy. Like, because they love it.
that was an excellent.
It was
Okay.
an excellent Veruca.
Thank you so much.
Well done,
Thank
well done.
you.
And then, what she want? I want a golden. Was it a golden chicken or a golden goose?
Golden goose egg.
Golden goose. I want the golden goose.
Yes,
With
I
our roll.
mean, she's iconic. I mean, enough that there's
She-
like an actual band
There's a
named
band
after her.
named after
Veruca
her.
Salt,
Yes.
Yes, I love
Yeah.
that. Okay, and so everyone's like, all these kids are just like bratty, and then we have our poor little
Charlie
Charlie
Bucket.
Bucket, and
Who lives with his mother and all
Both
of his
sets of
grandparents,
grandparents.
who all share a bed together. Diana, take it away. I know this you have issues with this.
okay,
Go on.
So here's what I wrote down on that. It's a social services red flag parade.
Oh, God. Oh, wow.
That is how I saw
It's a parade.
that. I mean, the legal and ethical issues in his home life. There's obviously poverty, neglect, possible social services involvement. There's substandard living conditions.
I mean,
for
he's
sure.
one of the only people in that household who's making money.
Right.
to
And
he's a
support-
child.
And he's
Right,
a child,
right.
and he lives in a tiny single-room shack.
The
near
mom works.
No, she does.
Yeah.
She does like
She
does laundry.
She does laundry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
Delivers
newspapers,
Newspapers.
and then 4 grandparents are just laying in one bed, which is
Right,
so weird.
right.
The roof is collapsing.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
in the
that,
shack.
that is sad.
Wait, also, have
Yeah.
you guys noticed the grandparents? Their names are Joe and Josephina, and George and Georgina, or Georgette,
something
or
like that,
something like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, they all sleep in the
look.
same bed 24/7 in extreme poverty, while the family survives on cabbage soup.
And the mom says at one point that they've been laying there for 20 years.
Yes.
Like this.
Yes, which is like bed sores galore.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
also
Grandpa Joe literally
DVT?
says he hasn't walked in 20 years.
20 years.
Right, and so the house is clearly not insulated, no visible bathroom, structurally unsound. Like, I think that would be many red flags, and you'd have like
I'd like
the
to
state
know-
is visiting you on like a
I'd
daily
like to
basis.
know what caused them to all be bedridden at the
Where's
same
the
time.
dad? Because his parents are
Right.
clearly
I
there.
think the dad died. I think they
I
don't
would
make
have to
mention of
assume
it.
only they don't mention it that I
I
noticed.
think it's
but because his
implied.
parents are there, I figured he was involved.
Yeah, and why are they
but-
all bedridden? None of them can walk.
And they've all been bedridden for the same length of time. Also, so yes, they're old now. 20 years ago, they weren't old.
Right.
What happened
How old
here?
are they now, you think? Like,
It doesn't matter.
I would say 70s.
so
if
what,
I
they were
had to guess.
bedridden in their 50s?
In their 50s?
So I think you have building and health code violations. You have child welfare concerns. Like, I think you would
for
have
sure.
CPS would be at their door like weekly.
Child labor
because
laws.
child labor laws. He's like, how old is he supposed to be? Like,
I'm guessing 12.
like even maybe even younger. Like he's definitely not over 14. He's
No,
definitely
no.
not legally
No,
able
no,
to work.
right.
And he doesn't have a proper home life, and he's clearly being neglected. He doesn't seem like it matters when he's coming or going.
Oh God, yeah, no.
Yeah. So, and then I also think there's like an educational neglect issue there because he goes to school, but not regularly. It seems like he misses a lot. And then he spends all his time working. He's missing a lot of school.
Yes. And they're all just laying around. But by the way, did you notice they have no money? They're living on the cabbage soup. But what does Grandpa Joe need every day?
Tobacco.
His tobacco.
I hate him.
Yeah.
Having watched this again, and I used to like have fondness for him, but now watching as an adult, because I probably haven't seen this movie in like 20 years. But having watched it
You
again,
were like, Grandpa Joe, get up and go to work.
your ass up and
Right.
stop
Wait, what
moving
did-
up
Stop
family.
smoking.
Wait, hold on. What did Kim Kardashian say? Nobody wants to get their ass up and go to work nowadays.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Yes.
Profound words from Miss Kim.
Kardashian.
Miss Kim
Wow.
Kardashian, yes, the voice of a generation.
But listen, all of a sudden, we jump ahead a little bit, but Charlie ends up with one of these golden tickets and he comes home and he's allowed to take one adult and he says, "Beloved Grandpa Joe, I'd like for you to
But
join me."
convoluted. I like the way it almost didn't happen.
Right,
Yes.
because it seemed like someone else had won the
There
final
was a
ticket.
Scam.
there was a lot of sort of like build up, let down, like
And so then he
it
had
was
this
that
one-
heartbreaking
right.
moment
And he has
where
this one
Grandpa
coin.
Joe stops smoking and gives Charlie the money to go buy the chocolate. And they're so excited, the two of them,
yeah, but
they
hold
think
on.
this is it.
Charlie says, "Grandpa, not your daily tobacco."
Right. Oh, no.
Yes.
Right? So, no, Charlie, I want you to have it. This is our chance. Like, Grandpa Joe's globbing
And
on
they
to
do a
Charlie.
and there's a whole fake out,
Yeah.
right? And you think that he...
You think they're going to get it. They don't get it.
They
They're
don't get
both
it.
heartbroken.
Yes, and then... they
And
think
you
that
find out
someone
some
else
guy,
dropped the
I
fifth
was
one.
assuming South America.
I
that one.
don't remember. They
I can't
say
remember
it.
the name, but I
They
feel
say
like it was
but
somewhere
a
in
scam.
South America. And he faked it.
And he faked it, and
So they found out that ticket was
But
fake.
meanwhile, Charlie thinks that the fifth ticket has already been
Is
taken.
taken.
And despite that, when he gets that one coin and he can
finds
go,
the coin in the
and
sewer
he, yeah,
grate,
and he
yep.
can spend it on something. And the candy shop owner even says, like, "You sure you want something?" Like, they found the lost ticket or something.
yeah.
And then. Right, and then he's like, "No, I'll take a Wonka bar anyway."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's his heart. And then he gets it. And then I guess at that point is when he hears like on the street,
On the
they're like, "Did you
news.
hear? Did you
Yeah.
hear what happened?" Like,
Right.
yeah. And that it was a fake out. And then he goes and he opens it, and it's like the best reveal is that he got it.
It was,
Not
but I
even
have
think he
to
had a
say,
chance.
there was fear in my heart when the mob noticed
Oh,
that
they
he
were
had
gonna
the ticket.
steal it out from his
I
hands.
thought someone was
me
going to
too.
rip it out of his hands, and
Run
I was
home,
like,
Charlie,
"Oh my
run
God,
home."
Charlie!" I'm like, "Oh my God!" Like I thought he was going to get
Yes,
mugged
yes.
for the ticket.
Wait,
No.
can we go back to the family life? Just
Yeah,
'cause it's-
yeah. We're not done with
the worst.
Grandpa Joe.
It's the worst. These four adults, these four like elderly people, they're considered dependents, I would assume, right? At this
Yeah.
point, like,
Probably. I mean, they're not getting up. They are just laying around.
right. So I feel like for them too, if they're dependents and they've got some sort of disability, like the state's not like stepping in, like they're under these conditions that they're living in this bed for 20 years, not moving, no physical therapy, no nutrition, no insulation, no proper plumbing, like. That would also. and it's all gonna fall on the mom.
There
It's all
is
gonna fall on
adult.
the mom.
There is adult services, so yeah, they
Yeah.
could have gotten involved.
And I
been
think
like-
the mom would be like, if they're considered like dependent, like, I mean, I think this mom is in for like a lot of like issues.
Well, I mean, I think the issue is not the issue,
get
but I
state
think
services.
she's doing the best she can.
right. I think
Except
that's
for
kind of the
looking for state
commentary.
services.
I think that's sort of part of the commentary of it, right? These like
There's
I don't know. I had
social
a,
services.
I had a hard time. I don't know that it was taking place in the 70s. Like
It was-
it
I think
seemed
it was.
older to me.
the book was supposed to be in the 60s.
It's
so
in the
maybe-
60s.
But I think
So
it's
I
the
don't
same
know how
time
much
frame.
social services were really available then for all this stuff.
But also, I don't think this was the overarching message of the movie. I think the overarching message was right.
but we still have to pick apart every single
Right,
thing.
but what I'm saying is that I think the idea was that they're just so dirt poor, and because, and this is why they are then so deserving of this golden ticket as opposed to Veruca. As
Right.
opposed
Although
to
perhaps only
the German
Charlie is
fella.
because his family has really like
a bunch of moochers.
Because again, like yes, the grandpa miraculously being able to like I don't know,
Sprints
it's
right
very
out of
ethically
bed.
dubious. I will say that.
I mean, he does stumble quite a bit at first, but like all
Sure.
of a sudden, boom, you're walking.
Hold on a
like,
minute. What else do you expect? He's been laying there for 20 years.
Right.
So, but also, like, he doesn't get up. They don't get up to go to the bathroom. This poor mom is taking care of these.
Don't you think
four
it's kind of
them.
weird that he picks Grandpa Joe to go with him as
And
opposed to
the
his
others.
mom?
Yeah, like his mom will work so hard to
Right.
like maintain stuff for like this family of moochers.
Yeah, that kind of like upset me.
Yeah,
But
I didn't
was
like that either.
Yeah.
I think it's like I think the whole Grandpa Joe can walk reveal was one of the sketchiest moments in film history.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, so for 20 years he's been bedridden, hasn't worked, walked, or
now
contributed
how
to the household in
convenient.
decades.
And now how convenient. Pops right up.
Yeah, and then Charlie's mother working long hours scrubbing clothes to support like
Everybody.
all
Five
the adults
people.
and,
Six people.
and a child. Yeah, and then he gets a golden ticket, and suddenly Grandpa Joe is like doing a jig.
Do you know which part I really
He's
liked?
auditioning for like Dancing with the Stars. Like literally, he's
Is
like
Grandpa Joe her dad? Like,
I
I don't know, but he's
No,
literally.
actually, I think it's his dad.
I think it was the
He's
dad.
think
doing
it's the-
spins and kicks and stuff like
Yeah.
2 seconds after getting out
Yeah.
of bed for the first
I
time in
know.
20 years.
I know.
Ugh.
Do you know which part I found really funny? So there was one ticket that was being auctioned off, remember? And I forget where. But it went for like thousands upon thousands of dollars. And then
No, the chocolate bar. It was a box of chocolates.
a box of chocolates.
Yeah.
It was like the last case of chocolates
Quadra-
in England.
right.
Right, because
Exactly.
everything had sold out.
Exactly.
Everything had sold out. And so
Uh-huh.
it went for like tens of thousands of
Yep,
dollars.
yep, yep.
And so these people won it. And then the husband got kidnapped. Do you remember?
Oh, yes.
And they called him.
And they said,
And the wife
ma'am,
is
the
like,
kidnappers want the box of
Oh,
chocolate.
yeah.
And she
she's
said,
like,
how much
how
time do I...
much time do you have to think about that?
Yeah, I love that.
Well, at first she was like, tell them I'll give them anything. I just want my
Right.
husband back.
Right,
They
right,
want
right.
your Willy Wonka
I love
bars."
this.
And she
I
was
love
like,
that.
Oh, okay. No, according to the lore,
Oh, maternal.
Grandpa Joe is his mom's dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that it makes it any better or worse or relevant. He's just a moocher who suddenly remembers that he knows how to walk.
He's like, yeah, he's the
That's all.
antagonist of the movie.
All right, so they
the worst.
they show up.
Antagonist in the worst way.
In the worst way. Like
I don't know.
I don't know, like what you've put your grandson through.
I
and
just
then-
didn't like the messaging he was, and even he encouraged. Well, we'll get to that, but he encouraged Charlie to break the rules at the chocolate factory too.
Oh yeah,
And
he was.
like
Oh, we'll
almost
get to
got
it.
them kicked out.
yeah,
Like what the heck,
he's
Joe?
the liability. Charlie is on the up and up.
I know. It
Ugh.
was not cool.
So they get to the factory.
By the way, 4 completely undeserving children won those
Absolutely.
other golden tickets. Like I
don't know if I would
the
say that-
brattiest people you could
Like,
possibly
Fergus,
think of.
yes. But like
what
the other
about
ones,
Augustus?
like Augustus isn't like mean or like
They're
bratty.
all
He's just
spoiled
he's like
brats.
gluttonous.
He
He just has like an addiction to sugar.
Yeah.
And like let's talk about like the fact that his mother allows him to literally like he's just gonna have like diabetes within
Oh my
a
God,
year.
yeah.
And I think there's like a
Violet's
there's
kind of a brat too.
Violet's a brat, but she's
Violet-
not like mean.
Not like Veruca,
She's not
but
mean and
she's-
nasty. She's just like
Yeah.
They're all brats. And
Well,
then-
she was kind of mean and nasty to the girl that she had the chewing gum like thing
Oh, yeah,
going
yeah,
on
yeah.
with.
Like, see, I'm
And she
still
was
going
run-
strong.
Right, she's
Yeah.
rubbing it in her face. Still got the gum.
yeah,
and
yeah.
then she turns into a blueberry. So
Yeah.
how did
But
that work
Violet,
out
Violet,
for her?
yeah.
Violet, oh.
How'd that work out
I
for
know,
her?
but I think Augustus is not as much of a
I
brat in
was-
his personality.
No,
he just
I
I
eats a
was
lot.
least offended by Mike TV.
Oh, but he's also. I think he was like. I think the other 3, like Mike and the 2 girls, I think they were kind of brats. Whereas like Augustus was like, I just want to eat chocolate.
But so here's the thing that bothered me the most about this movie.
Go on.
Is that Willy Wonka basically takes it upon himself to teach these kids a lesson and decides that they are bad
Not worthy.
kids, not
Like, what
worthy.
if someone else, like a normal kid, had bought one of
punishes
these,
them?
like gotten one of these?
Well, then there
golden
wouldn't be
tickets?
a movie now, would there?
No, but like, was this like in store for all the kids that they?
Yes.
Like anyone
No.
who got it, like an
I don't
innocent,
think
normal
so,
child.
Because you find out at the end that he's basically auditioning in air.
Yes.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
So you find that out at the end. I don't think if they were not as messed up, I don't think that would have happened.
By the way,
Yeah,
to
because-
go
To that
ahead.
point, each of the children who like meets certain
Stuff
type of
happened
demise
because they
is because
did
they didn't
something.
listen.
Right,
because
they didn't do
But
the right
he's like,
thing.
no,
Personally,
stop,
I love the little,
please.
and I love the little Oompa Loompa songs in between.
Yeah.
Just
Do
the
it.
lesson
Do
about,
it.
and I wrote down my messages about, don't be greedy, Augustus.
what
you know?
do you get
Oompa
when your kid is up, Brett? Yeah.
Oompa Loompa.
I'm not singing it.
Loompa-dee-doo.
Okay, so they all do it because they're not listening and they're not following
But
instructions.
hold on a minute. Basically, what you just said is They're not listening. They're not following instructions. So this random chocolate factory man has the right
He's
to
gotta
punish
teach 'em a
them?
lesson.
Nah, that ain't how that works.
Yeah,
that can't
that's true.
possibly be the case here.
Well, little lesson for you. Back
Yeah,
in
go
the
on.
70s, everybody parented each other's kids for them. It was
It took a village.
It was very much a village. I will literally tell you, on my neighborhood, like there was a ton of busybody ladies, and
Yeah.
if they saw you messing up, they would reprimand you
But listen-
and go tell your parents.
But listen, this wasn't a ton of busybody ladies. This guy lured the children there so he could teach them a lesson about
I
how
don't
they
think it
should
was
properly
teaching a
behave.
lesson. I don't think it was that because it was they put themselves into those like situations because like they only like met those kind of demises because of their own behavior. Like,
Right.
like Charlie was unscathed, for
Right.
instance.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
And so I think if anything, they're like this kind of goes back to the whole point of the entire movie. It's like
Although-
like the unsafe conditions and negligence. It's that he is bringing them into this factory that has like
All these issues.
all this machinery, no proper security or safety
Other than the
regulations, like
improvements.
that I saw as bigger
let's
issue.
talk about definitely a bigger issue, and let's talk about the big glaring thing right at the beginning when they actually get to the factory and the contract that they're made to sign in order to get into the factory. Is that really a contract?
No, it's not for many reasons. Okay, hidden terms, unreadable
Hold
text.
on, Willy Wonka said not between friends.
No,
He
no.
did, and he also
And
said
questionable
he
consent.
also said you're not getting in unless you sign it. Basically.
Right, so-
because
right.
the couple of the parents were like, "We're not signing this."
Okay, and that he is allowed to do. You can say, if you don't sign this waiver, you can't come into my establishment.
Well,
That's
I mean,
fine.
effectively, every theme park does it. If you take a look at the back of your
Yes.
ticket for
I
every
mean,
theme park.
a bounce house thing, you can't go into a birthday
Exactly.
party
Sign
and
a
catch
waiver.
air
I-
without signing a waiver.
I had to sign the waiver for my kids too.
Right.
However, that does not mean, and we talked about this, I think, during the Jurassic Park episode, that does not mean that if something happens on premises,
Right. That is out of the like assumption of risk. You know,
Correct.
outside of that, like yes, you can
You can
still
still
sue for that.
sue.
You can't just like. And I think the example I gave was like if you go to like a trampoline park kind of thing, and you roll your ankle, the waiver probably protects the place because your kid probably
If
they
the
were
roof
assuming,
falls
but if the
down.
roof collapses, you can still sue them because that's not something that you're assuming the risk of.
Okay, so
But Gene Wilder's behavior when they were signed, he clearly knew they
Right.
were
What was
going
going to
into a
happen.
dangerous
Of
place.
course.
Right. Well,
And that's why he was like, no.
and he's providing them with the contract not ahead of time, but right when they're entering, and it's a dense, thick legal document that
hanging
they
on
don't.
the wall.
They don't. They,
Josh,
Good
throw it
visual.
up on the screen.
But you see,
what-
they don't have time to
Look
read
at,
it.
Look at the bottom part. Like, really?
Right. Okay. The final lines are like microscopic and require like a magnifying to read. Right.
Right.
And there's no opportunity to negotiate, consult
Wait, but
legal
look-
counsel,
look
or
what it
understand what
says
they're
up on
signing.
top. Whereas for
For
damage caused by
lightning, earthquakes, floods, fire, frost, or fripper of any
So it's a
sort.
force majeure.
Yeah. Force majeure. Exactly.
and he basically makes them all sign it. And Charlie looks at Grandpa and says, "Grandpa, should I sign it?" And Grandpa's like, "Meh.
Right.
What do we have to lose?"
So I would.
not like we
I
have
think that
anything
any
anyway.
court would
We don't
deem,
have anything, yeah.
Any court would deem that the contract is invalid because there
Yeah.
was a lack of informed consent. It's unconscionable. You cannot hide material terms of a contract inside a contract. First of all, microscopic. Forget about it.
Right.
But even like when you're handed a large like contract that you have to read through all this like very dense information, and hidden in like on like page like 112 is something very important. A court would most likely rule that part of the contract is invalid, if not the whole contract, because you cannot hide material terms. So, like something beyond just like what jurisdiction are we going to be in? If this, are we doing arbitration? If we have like
right,
that stuff
right.
you can bury wherever because it's not material. But like what is happening between two parties, the crux of it, you cannot hide it.
And again, to be clear, he's taking them in where there's all this machinery. Augustus falls into a chocolate river. So in addition to the fact, by the way, that he gets sucked into...
That was the saddest chocolate river, by the way.
It
It looked like dirty sewer water. It did not look like a chocolate river.
He falls into a chocolate river in addition to the fact that he's
was
potentially...
very
I want to be in a chocolate river though.
like a real one. That
I would
was
love
sad.
that.
in
was
addition
sad.
to the fact that he's potentially drowning, and then he gets kind of like sucked into, and the mom yells, "Oh, he can't swim," and he gets sucked into that like big tube.
Yeah.
He's now completely contaminated all the chocolate. I don't want to eat
Ew.
chocolate that came from the chocolate river that Augustus
I
was
put
swimming
environmental concerns as one
in.
of my.
Where's the FDA? Where are all the like
Oh, and he gets
safety?
really upset That he did contaminate.
He did.
The chocolate.
Well, then, sir, don't let these children into your factory.
Okay, so a few things to also note about if we're going back to the contract. So the contract.
There is no way. The computer is telling us that was made with real chocolate, cream, and water. It looked like sewer water.
It was
No, I can see- no,
150,000 gallons of liquid.
Because it did, you know what? It looked like chocolate milk. It didn't look like a.
Oh, see, look, it says it was not ideal as it began to spoil over time and smelled terrible.
Blech.
Oh, Augustus Gloop said that it was stinking water lying around for weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, anyway, the contract.
Yeah, go on.
So, unconscionable, obviously invalid for many reasons. Did you notice that it was the kids who were told to sign?
Yes,
and
minors.
Minors,
Oh, right.
they don't have the
Not the
capacity.
parents, right.
They don't have the capacity to contract, so that would already make it null and void. It's also an adhesion contract when
Right.
it's like a take it or leave it situation where you're
Exactly.
like you have no room for bargaining.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
in most jurisdictions, as I understand it, that alone doesn't make it invalid, but coupled with everything else we just named, it would add to the arguments
But,
as to why this doesn't hold up in
Again,
court.
he's taking them into a situation where, you know how when you go to the Hershey chocolate factory, you gotta wear hair nets
Yeah.
and you have to make sure that you're not stepping anywhere near the machinery, and there's all these precautions.
Yep.
He just lets them in. He lets them go wherever. His warnings are very half-hearted,
No, please don't. I love that though.
I
love that.
He wants to kill them. He wants. Listen.
I don't
He's
think he wants to
weeding
kill
out
them.
the weak, Jenny.
He's
Weeding
weeding out the
weak.
weak. But let me tell you something. He says to Charlie, "Oh, I'm sure they're gonna be fine." But there is actually no confirmation at the end of the movie that those children walk out of the
That is
factory.
true. Done.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember in the
Johnny
book whether in the book the kids
are alive.
because in this movie they do kind of
Gloss
make-
over it.
disappear.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
he's kind of they'll show you where to get your kid.
Yeah, but we don't actually ever see them getting their kids.
Nope.
Right.
In the Johnny Depp version, I believe it's a little bit less
Wait, what is it in that
Macabre?
version?
Yeah.
I don't think I've watched any
I
version
think
but
that
this
I
one.
haven't,
I think the Johnny Depp version, it's made clear that they are alive.
Oh, okay.
In this version, it's maybe they're.
That version, at the end of the movie, you see
All the kids are coming out.
Oh, you do?
Oh.
Okay.
In this version, it's
Okay.
maybe they are, maybe they're not. But the assumption is that they very much may not be alive anymore. The one chick is a blueberry, and if you poke her, she's gonna pop. So then they have to roll. The Oompa Loompas have to roll her away so she could be juiced.
The best.
Who
And
falls
what's a
into?
juicing? I mean, I want that already.
They
Is
just squeeze
I
her.
know that's like
Veruca Salt ends up in a furnace.
Physical. Yeah.
yeah, but
As does her father, by the way,
Yeah.
because he jumps in after
Oh yeah,
her.
yeah, yeah.
Augustus Gloop.
we don't know if
is
she's definitely in
drowning.
a furnace because it's where is she going? And then
It was
he says
to me, it was
it's
like a
furnace.
bottomless pit thing. but-
No,
Right.
but he says it's a furnace.
Yeah, but he says it, but I don't think he's being completely accurate.
other
I don't
one?
think he's completely telling the truth on that.
Yeah.
I don't think she's actually in a furnace. I think the assumption is they do get out because he has said you can find her there or go follow them and they'll show you where to get your child.
I'm simply not convinced.
You think they're
Because
all dead?
I
Oh,
think-
and then Mike TV ends up tiny because he got sucked into TV.
I think they're all dead, and I think then the parents are
No.
killed too.
I had
I don't know,
no,
'cause-
I
no.
had that it was a
Yeah.
garbage chute.
Yeah, and how would the parents be?
But she was a bad egg.
I think the
Yeah,
Oompa
we're
Loompas
sorting
take care
out
of
the
her.
eggs.
Take care of the parents.
They
Listen,
kill the parents. You're just saying that
there's-
the
yeah.
Oompa Loompas are just
Hold on, there is-
committing murders off
Yes.
screen.
Yeah,
Okay.
there is a theory.
Okay.
There is a theory, and I can't say I'm not going to subscribe to it. There is a theory that Willy Wonka is a serial killer, and he just lures them all into.
Well, he's very charming. It's fine.
And that's exactly what a serial
No,
killer
but
does.
I
true.
think that's
Ted
making.
Bundy was very.
Yes, but that's a lot of assumptions because I think
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
No?
I don't really know about Dahmer.
No, hold on. That's how he lured people in with his charisma, and then he ate them.
I never heard charisma. About
No, is
Jeffrey
that right?
Dahmer.
No, only Ted Bundy.
Ted
He
Bundy
was,
was,
a hottie
very,
and not a
very
naughty.
charismatic, and
What about
he
Charles Manson?
No,
was a fucking weirdo.
He was a weirdo, but he
But
had
he had
a
a big following. He was a
just
cult
very
leader.
he had the it factor that makes you influential. He was able to influence people, but he wasn't a charming hot guy like
Right.
Ted Bundy.
Like Bundy. no.
I really think that he lured them in for this warped reason of
No, because they all did it to themselves. He didn't say, "Get up there, Violet. Go eat that thing, Violet." She took it upon herself.
I think it's exactly like Liz said. He was auditioning an heir, weeding out the weak, and basically teaching them a lesson at the same time, and was like, I don't like you. You're not worthy. You're not worthy. You're not worthy.
But then he would have been the
Please
one to
don't
say,
get hurt.
eat that candy, and
No, because then that would
It
be
was
too
their
obvious.
own. No,
But
it
so
was
I
their
think it was
own.
their
It was
own-
their own actions.
I think that there's a lot of gross negligence and recklessness and all that, but I don't think that there was
You don't think he
I don't think it was a
intends to kill them?
premeditated any. No, I don't think so.
I
don't
would
know.
also like to. I would like to stick up for the Oompa Loompas
Well, let's talk about the Oompa Loompas because is that
Loom-
slave labor?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Loompa Land. I wrote down enslaved people. He took all of them from Loompa Land.
But-
Who the hell are you? And
Yeah.
why
But
are you
he makes
taking?
it seem like
He's their
saved
savior,
them.
right?
Yeah.
But like, what are their working conditions? I put like OSHA violations, unsafe working conditions.
Are they getting paid?
Numerous like
I don't think they're
health
getting
and safety
paid.
code violations.
He
There's
makes
open
it
chocolate
sound
rivers.
like he is their savior. He saved them from where they were, and I don't think they're getting paid, and they don't know any better.
I mean, but they don't, just because they don't know any better, I don't know if they're getting paid. We don't know
don't-
that. I think it's unsafe conditions.
Oh God, yeah.
Like, are they free to go? That's not clear. Like, are they, like, basically enslaved? Like, they're captured there.
I think they are.
And yeah, so it's like, I don't know, like, that's bad. That's illegal.
Yes.
It's
Do they have health
kidnapping and
insurance?
unlawful detention. Yeah, I don't know. Do they have insurance? Do they have benefits of any kind? Labor law violations, like up the wazoo.
Of course.
Exploitative foreign labor practices. I put the Fair Labor Standards Act, immigration law, 13th Amendment concerns. I like.
What's their 13th Amendment concern?
Just throw the Constitution in there.
Throw the Constitution wherever I can. I also just put that it's you don't see like, do they rest? Because they don't seem to stop. Like, what are their working hours? Do they go to bed?
We don't see that.
Okay.
So who knows? I don't know.
I think there's no evidence of fair wages, contracts, or visas with these Oompas
With
from
Oompa
Oompa
Land.
Land.
With Loompa Land.
Loompa
Well, certainly
Land.
there wouldn't be any visas with Loompa Land because he stole them from there.
Yeah, apparently.
Okay, in the original novel, it's depicted that
As
like,
essentially enslaved by Willy Wonka. They work in Wonka's chocolate factory.
receiving cocoa beans as payment instead of traditional wages. Oh, we don't even know that from the movie. That's awful.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Have you guys seen the version with Timothy Chalamet?
I've only seen the Gene Wilder.
Okay. Can you want to tell your Timothy Chalamet story that you just like saying Timothy Chalamet?
Oh, everyone needs a mantra, and that people are like, you need to figure out like a mantra because people like to like something that calms you, and that you just like repeat the same phrase over and over again. And mine is Timothy Chalamet because it's like Timothy Chalamet. Timothy Chalamet. It's very good for like breathing in, breathing out,
very
breathing in, breathing
So
out.
that one is like it's Wonka's origin story.
Supposedly, yes.
Right. Supposedly it's Wonka's origin story and how he meets an Oompa Loompa played by Hugh Grant.
But I guess it's made up.
I guess so.
Because Roald Dahl didn't write a
No.
prequel for this, so this
No,
is a
of course
completely
not.
made up story about Willy Wonka and his backstory and childhood. And
yeah,
stuff.
and so he meets the Oompa Loompa. Like he doesn't steal
Grant.
him. He meets
Hugh Grant.
Is
he
he
meets-
playing it little?
Yeah, it's like very CGI'd.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just his head on an Oompa
weird.
Loompa
Okay,
body.
go on.
Yeah, it was a little
Super
weird.
weird.
Okay,
It's a
and then what
little weird.
happens?
And he meets him, and he's like a sneaky little thing, and they.
Who is?
The Oompa Loompa.
Uh-huh.
And then I forget now. Wonka saves him for
And then
something
pays
or
him
other.
with cocoa beans and enslaves him?
And well, basically, the Oompa Loompa is like, I will be your sidekick now. I don't. But
And
I don't
I'm going to
remember.
also give you access to all my
Loompa
people.
All
Land.
of my people.
Yeah.
So that you can go and just ransack the place and bring all these people
don't
over
like
here.
it.
And
I don't
make
like
don't
it.
like it.
marvelous chocolate to make you rich.
Terrible.
Well, he certainly did that, right?
Yeah.
Look, I still stand by it. I think he's luring children and their parents, and this is his like warped way of weeding out the obnoxious children and punishing them.
I say have at it.
I think that whether or not that could be a thought in his head, I think because each child, besides Charlie, did the action on their own free will that got them into that, like, if you go somewhere and they're like, don't go behind that door that says like, no one past this point or whatever, and your kid does that.
But think about
You're
it, though.
breaking the rules.
Charlie did break the rules. That's what I have a problem with.
But his rule,
Every other kid had some pretty serious consequences. Charlie absolutely broke the rules.
But it's not like
And
they were
didn't
punished.
get-
They weren't punished by him. He wasn't like, oh, Augustus, you're still doing this. I'm going to push you into the river. He fell on his own accord because he wasn't listening.
Yeah.
The one with he's like, don't eat
Blueberry.
that. Like he didn't force it. It's not like she ate it and then he's like, you weren't supposed to eat that. Now I punish you. No, it was what she ate wasn't like fully tested yet, and so it gave adverse reactions.
I guess the question is, how much should he have warned them?
Oh yeah, in terms of the waiver and all of the
also,
practices of like
when she takes the gum, like, you know, you just could have like slapped it out of her hand and been like, you're gonna turn into a blueberry or whatever, you know?
Sure.
Or not even given her access to pick up the gum.
Again, I think
he didn't do enough to
negligence,
stop
recklessness
it.
up the wazoo.
Yeah.
I just don't think that it was
purposeful.
a purposeful, I'm going to punish
malicious.
you. Yeah, malicious, like I'm punishing you. Just like a failure to act.
I also realized that I have this movie to thank for a mantra that got me through my drinking days as a youth. I didn't know candy is dandy, but liquor is quicker came from this movie until I saw it.
And I was telling Liz that at
And I
that
was
same
like,
first
"What?"
birthday party for my son, we had signs on all the bars that said candy is dandy, but liquor is quicker.
I had no idea it came from this. That was so funny when I heard that.
I also love that the snosberries, say six snosberries, came from this, and then were made way more famous from Super Troopers. And it's a great scene, great line. Okay. Anyway, so okay.
This entire factory is off its fucking rocker.
Yeah.
There's the crazy boat ride that they go on.
No, he's like a complete
The
sociopath.
inventing room is insane.
Yeah.
What else? There was the lickable wallpaper, which made me think of LSD.
Oh yeah, I think that was like probably supposed to be that, right?
Yeah.
But again, the bubble room, they're not supposed to go in there. He said, don't go in there. And Grandpa Joe encourages Charlie to break what's the harm? We'll have a little bit of thing. And they're having fun and they're floating. And then
Because he's
they're
never
floating up to their
Grandpa
doom.
doesn't even know what it's like to have responsibility.
They're floating to their doom at the fan. And I'm like, great. They're going to get, like, I'm... You know,
you're like, I hope this happens. Yeah.
And they're gonna get chopped up in the.
But then they start burping.
That would have been an entirely different movie.
Oh my gosh!
It's been a great movie.
But the fact that they even ended
thriller.
up in that situation in the fan, again, the negligence, the recklessness.
They said, don't go in here, don't drink this. Like, I mean, all you can do is like warn people not to do something.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, and quite frankly, really the only reason, even though Charlie broke the rules, the only reason he then ends up becoming the heir to the throne is because he refuses to sell the secret of the everlasting
gobstopper, which I think sounds awful.
Right.
I actually thought that sounded great.
And so
I don't like gobstoppers on a good day.
Can we talk about, because we're already there, and we'll go back to some other things, can we talk about Slugworth's behavior?
the one who's trying to...
He's the one who is an associate of Wonka's, and he has been, it seems, like from the outset while watching the movie...
That he's a competitor.
That he's a competitor, and he whispers into each of the... And you see it, like, every time a kid wins a golden ticket, he whispers, and presumably he's saying, like, there's, like, this thing that I need you to, like...
Give me the formula for it.
You know, like I want you to take this candy that he's going to give you and bring it back to me so I can figure out how he's making this happen. It's like completely everlasting gobstopper, right?
Yeah.
Jawbreaker.
I think he offered them 10,000.
Something like
that.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and then the only reason, like you said, Charlie is because he put
Charlie
it down on the
doesn't do
table, and so like now he knows like this is a good kid who's not about to sell my secrets. Because the other ones, most likely, if they had made it to the end, would have. Right. But Slugworth himself, let's talk about his behavior: surveillance, coercion, possible entrapment.
Really creepy.
Right. He's right.
Super creepy. Sneaks up to the
Stalking and
kids
harassment.
and is like,
And how is he magically there every time a golden ticket
I put that down. I said that he appears within minutes of each ticket being found,
almost,
no matter what country, time,
it
or
was
setting.
all different countries.
almost makes you think like it was planted so that Willy Wonka could lure these children to his factory. Huh?
All right, Jenny, I'll give you something there.
Maybe. I mean, but like we see with Charlie, like he went into this chocolate.
Yes, with Charlie,
he could have easily just bought like a lollipop instead, right?
True.
So, but no, that's a very good point. Like, but and then he's also cornering minors in like dark alleys, speaking to them alone, pressuring them into a secret agreement. And so I think there'd be a violation of anti-stalking laws of the U.S. Harassment. He's targeting children. I feel there's predatory behavior.
He's really creepy.
Yeah, but I think there's also like,
Is that
I think
a
if I was a
crime?
parent, I would have a lawsuit against it. Like,
Well, not those parents. Those parents
no,
weren't
a good
concerned
parent,
about anything.
A good parent would be like, I'm going to sue you for harassment of my minor child and for stalking and for all this other stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I sue you for being creepy. That can't be right.
Well, but he can. Well, I don't know about the civil lawsuit, but like criminal,
Criminal charge.
He could be charged with what's it called?
Creepiness.
Entrapment or like
Yes.
Stalking.
or a
Well, he does
why
stalking,
am I not thinking of
probably.
the word bribery kind of?
Well, what I had actually was that it's a conspiracy
Sort of
to.
if he really wasn't a corporation, it would have been like a corporate
Well,
espionage.
he is.
Yes.
So we find out that he's an associate. So he works for the corporation, the Wonka Corporation. I put down that to me that seems like conspiracy to induce contract breach, right? So if you are signing a contract with Wonka that says you're never going to tell any of these secrets, but then one of Wonka's associates
Is trying to get you to.
and with the knowledge of
track
Wonka,
you.
he's not even just like somebody from a whistleblower from the company. He's actually doing this with Wonka's knowledge and consent and instruction.
yeah.
And so Slugworth is trying to get him to violate a contract by stealing a prototype. That would be tortious interference with a contract, conspiracy to commit
that's
a
right.
civil war, a
Yeah.
civil wrong, and also it's like he's inducing him to sign his own contract because
so-
he's an agent of the company.
But in that case, I think the lawsuit would be against Wonka, not What's his name? Slughorn?
Slugworth.
Slugworth. Slughorn is
right.
for
It-
Harry
well,
Potter.
At least we think it was
Right, because Slugworth is simply
Yeah, right.
Slugworth is simply an agent of the company.
Right,
yeah.
You would be suing the corporation, probably
Right,
you'd be
'cause
suing Willy
Because if
Wonka
Wonka
himself.
said you breached the contract by giving my competitor a prototype, no, you induced me into doing this. Like you entrapped me into this,
That's true.
right? So
Yep.
it's your fault.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I think that is a big issue. I mean, in general, there's a lot of issues like corporate wise, like with the Wonka Corporation.
Does he have a lawyer? Is it another
Who?
Oompa Loompa? Wonka.
Oh, Wonka. I mean, he needs a lawyer. I can tell you that. It's like
Sure does.
Yes, I also put down that this seems like a fever dream of a Silicon Valley founder with zero HR oversight and a flair for theatrical moral judgment.
Wow.
That is how I saw this.
You should work for ChatGPT.
I should work for the Wonka Corporation. And, yeah.
He needs probably
Rehabilitate
in-house
them.
counsel.
Oh my God! Wait, can you
What
work for
about-
ChatGPT if you're not a robot?
I don't have an answer to that. I'm afraid if we ask ChatGPT, it's going to
They'd be like, no,
mad at us.
all positions are filled.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, so here are the corporate ethics issues that I think that the golden ticket contest overall great for PR. It obviously gave them a lot of sales.
Oh, of course.
But probably an ethical dumpster fire otherwise, right?
But yeah, they violated, like you said, all kinds of rules with regard to
Yeah.
the contest in and of itself. But then he tried to not give away the prize at the end. Like
Right.
Yeah.
Charlie, in theory, won, and he was trying to. He said he forfeited the lifetime chocolate that they were supposed to get. Because they broke the rules. Well, how was he supposed to know that was in there? They had no idea. It was in a contract that he couldn't read the terms. He tried to forfeit. The only prize that was supposedly from this contest.
right.
So that was invalid too. They could have sued. They absolutely could have sued. We got deprived from what our prize was supposed to be. And one of my favorite memes ever pops up at that was, "You get nothing. Good day, sir."
Oh, yeah, you get
I
nothing.
said good day.
You get nothing. Yes.
That was one of my favorite memes that's played 5 million times.
Is that where that's originally from?
Yes.
I said good day.
Yes.
I love that.
I wrote it down because
I
I'm
love
like,
that.
that's where it came from.
But wait, so listen. So now Charlie, the real prize is the actual factory, and Charlie gets the factory at the end,
Okay.
right?
But he didn't know that.
He didn't know that. But what I wanted to talk about is, so Charlie is now effectively inheriting this factory that he
Right.
thinks is like the cat's
But
pajamas.
you have no idea, what you don't know anything about the company.
You haven't done your due diligence.
How is there profitability? What are they facing in lawsuits? The succession planning.
Josh,
I said,
I said good
day.
I love that.
The succession planning in general. First of all, you're handing an empire over to a minor. Now, this company
And
has
Grandpa
been
Joe.
This company has been managed in complete and utter secrecy forever. So not only you have no idea if they're complying with
they're
the
underwater,
FDA. They're
yeah.
producing candy
Right.
for the world, but no one is allowed to even know anything about the company. All of the workforce is from a
Yeah.
foreign land that no one's
Right.
ever heard of. So
Right.
and also has no contact with the outside world. So you're just being given what could be a dumpster fire. I mean, of just
and also he's now
and
also probably inheriting all the
lawsuits from these other kids and their parents.
from Augustus Gloop's mom
Right.
and Veruca Salt's dad, if they're all alive. But he's now inheriting, like you said, a dumpster fire of lawsuits that he now has to deal with. Like, did Charlie even want this?
Right.
Did anybody ask Charlie?
And like, what happens? Like, is Wonka like going to help transition? Are you just being thrown into this crazy thing? Are the Oompa Loompas staying on? Like, he hasn't even had like it's a mess.
Right. And right, so now does Charlie come in and bring in his own workforce? So now are the Oompa Loompas out of a job? Well, who else is gonna hire them?
And also all these other kids, presuming they like have lived and exit the building.
I'm not so sure about
once
that.
they talk about what's going on in there, like there are gonna be audits. There are going to be like investigations by the government, by like again, like the FDA, the FTC, probably like all of this, everything is like, it is a mess.
And basically what he's saying is, but I don't want to deal with it anymore. Charlie, you get it.
Yeah. But Charlie, if you think about it, it's like I could either inherit this factory that may just completely implode and like ruin my life, or I can go back to my life, which sucks already.
Right.
Because I have grandparents who just sleep in a bed all day and I'm like, living in poverty.
It's true. It's true.
What is that?
Grandpa Joe did used to work for Willy Wonka.
Wait, what?
I don't remember that. He tells Charlie, I worked for Mr. Wonka making candy, but then one day he locked the gates and fired us all. That ties into the backstory where Wonka shut down his factory because of industrial espionage. Oh, all right. Oh, in the actual book, Grandpa Joe doesn't have this backstory. I don't remember that. I must have missed that line. But, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Look,
I don't remember that.
I like it. ChatGPT says, would you like to know more about the timeline or why people think Grandpa Joe is secretly shady?
We all think
we know he's
Grandpa
secretly
Joe
shady,
is
yeah.
secretly shady. Yeah.
You're about to go down the glorious rabbit hole of the Grandpa Joe is the real villain fan theory.
Agreed.
I'm with it, actually.
Wait, let's see it. Why they think he's the villain. Here's the most common points that fans bring up. He lays in bed for 20 years until there's free candy. Absolutely.
Down with that.
Moonwalks, I like that they say, and moonwalks around the room like it's a Broadway audition.
He encourages Charlie to break rules. We covered that.
There we go.
You know what,
Yeah.
ChatGPT? You're just
On top of
following
it.
us.
Yes.
He's weirdly entitled, sure. He lets Charlie's mom do all the work, absolutely. He might be the ultimate con man. I think so.
Yeah.
Is this theory serious? Mostly no. No.
Oh, it is serious.
Absolutely
We're
serious.
making it serious.
Absolutely, it is serious. Look, that's all I gotta say. Grandpa Joe,
Not a fan.
not a fan. Willy Wonka, serial killer. That's it. I rest my case. I'm
Yes.
done.
Okay.
Charlie, poor victim of both.
Yes. Agreed.
Charlie Bucket.
Guys.
Okay. Wait.
since-
there
yeah,
are
you have
more, right? No. I mean,
you have more. Go
Are there
ahead.
any other issues that you guys see in? Because like one thing is like Mike TV just plays with these guns all the time.
Oh, yes.
Now,
But he's obsessed with TV. So
Okay.
he's also a gluttony thing. Because I categorize these kids by their sin.
Yes.
right, like the
Yes.
movie
Yeah.
Seven.
Yeah. Right, exactly. So
What's in the box?
Augustus was gluttony of candy and chocolate. And
It was
love that
Gwyneth's
movie.
head.
I love that movie. It was her head. I love it. Mike TV is a glutton of TV. Like, and he screams at his mother not to interrupt him while the TV is on.
Yeah.
And the mother's just like, yeah, you can't talk to him now. You have to wait for the commercials.
His
like,
program is on.
seriously right now? So those two are gluttons. Veruca and Violet are greedy.
Yeah.
Like, greedy of just like, I want this, I want that, I want it now. Daddy, I want it
Yep.
now.
Yes.
Daddy.
So they're greedy. Violet, not as much, I don't think, as Veruca, but she's also, her dad's like a car salesman. He gives her, I get the feeling they were kind of well-to-do, and
Yeah.
she didn't really want for anything either. You know what I mean? Like, she thought
None
she
of these
should just
children
have whatever.
did.
So,
Yeah.
so there was definitely a greed and a gluttony thing going on with all these kids.
For sure.
Yes.
I guess by comparison, Charlie is not, because
No.
he doesn't
He's not
have
gluttonous
it.
at all.
He has nothing.
But he's not gluttonous at all.
So
You
even
give
though
him
he
something,
broke-
he shares it with someone, even though
So
he
even
like
though he
has
broke
nothing
the
to begin with.
rules, he doesn't have anything.
Right.
He's
not
good at
really,
heart.
He's good at heart,
He
right?
only bought the 2 Wonka bars. Remember? They were
Right.
talking about it
Yeah.
in math class.
with
where
that
the-
horrible math class that I hated.
Yeah.
Oh, and that teacher, by the
Trying
way,
to teach
ew.
percentages. I'm like,
No, but also he was
what?
like that school
He was
sucks.
so rude. You only bought two.
You only bought 2. Like, okay, shame him for being poor.
I know, right? Oh,
Like,
horrible.
ew. But yeah, so I thought with like Mike TV,
ew.
ew. With Mike TV, I saw that there was like, I mean, we don't know if any of the firearms are real or not, but he was like saying in his like home interview, like how he's so into guns. He's always like, I mean, like
Welcome
going
to
around places.
1971, I
yeah, going
suppose.
around places with like his toy guns. I'm assuming maybe BB guns. I don't know. They might be dangerous.
Could have been BB
But also,
guns,
like,
yeah.
I feel like there's got to be like a parental like there must be like some sort of child neglect there too. That all he does is watch TV. And like as someone who watches a lot of TV and used to watch a lot of TV too, like there is
okay,
a
I
limit
have
when it's the only thing this kid is ever doing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I have a question. If the mom decides that this is how she wants to raise her kid, is it really the state's business to step in? The kid is fed, the kid is clothed,
The kid is showing
has
violent
shelter.
tendencies because he likes to pretend to shoot people at
Okay,
all times.
that's different.
And
but
I think that's enough
different.
of a reason to get
But-
CPS involved.
But what you were saying is that the kid is just constantly watching TV, so that maybe there's some sort of parental neglect. Looks like he's clean, right?
He's
he looks
taken
like
care
he's
of, but the
clothed
psychological
and
effects, like
fed.
now he could be like a
Yeah,
danger
but you know
to
what?
society.
CPS doesn't care about
No,
psychological effects.
absolutely doesn't.
I
And
mean,
that's
honestly,
the point I'm
all
making.
they care. She's right. All
Right,
they
but it
care
takes
about,
one instance when he goes to school, it threatens to shoot somebody.
That's
course.
different.
But that's
Then
what I'm
there's gonna
saying.
be
Now
cr-
he's
but
so
then there's
obsessed
gonna
with
be cr-
firearms
but then there's
because
gonna
of
be
the
criminal
Westerns.
elements involved, and he'll be involved in children in courts.
Right.
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 You know,
Yes.
it's not going to
But
be. He's really not improperly taken care of by CPS standards.
Right.
All they
Right.
care about
It's
is
clothed and
clothed
fed.
and fed and
Going
like,
to school?
Going to school
Is he
is an
going to
element.
school?
That I don't know, and that
All he does
is an
watch
element of
TV.
it.
I don't know. Does he
Yeah,
go to
they
school?
all
Part
talk
of the
about that,
parental
right.
job is they need,
If
you
he
need
doesn't
to
go
get
to
them
school,
to
which is the
school.
same thing with Charlie,
because
he
it would
misses
be
school.
it would
that
be a
could-
truancy issue.
Yeah.
Right, so that could push it over the edge.
Could.
But the fact that he just sits and kind of like
But
rots his
but
brain
if
in
he's
front
going
of
around
the TV.
like, I'm going to shoot you, like, big bang, like he's doing it at all times, like he's so obsessed
in
with these guns.
1971, I'm assuming no one's doing anything.
Right now,
about it.
it would be a huge issue,
Yeah.
though. You can't go around
Absolutely.
pretending to shoot people at a park or something with like a fake gun. Like,
can't-
No,
I
I don't
can't?
think. I don't think so.
You have to stop.
I don't think
I'll
so.
put my guns away.
You gotta stop. Yeah. But
What else you got?
I think that was like my main other point.
I think we've sufficiently torn this to shreds.
Yeah, I was so shocked at how many
Things
issues.
you found,
Violations?
issues, Yeah.
Yeah, like I knew the big ones. But
Guys, while we're here,
yes.
I have some Dubai chocolate for us
Yes.
to try.
I had no idea what this was. They had to
Have-
inform me.
Have you heard
Apparently,
of Dubai
it's
chocolate?
been all over the webs.
Didn't you send something the other day?
I did.
that-
Somebody shared with me like a reel, like it was a TikTok where they're like doing this. Everybody's talking about this Dubai
But
chocolate.
no, I feel like you sent something the other day that everyone is so crazed over this Dubai chocolate that
It
there's
is.
a chocolate shortage in the world.
They
There's a
did. There was
worldwide
an
chocolate
article that
shortage.
said that there was a shortage on the Dubai chocolate.
Look,
I have never
Because
heard of Dubai
everyone
chocolate until
is trying to get
today.
their hands
It's
on it.
delicious.
It is basically the equivalent of the Wonka bar
My
craze.
like
We are
I'm
experiencing
not getting
it
these
today.
TikToks.
We're going-
I'm getting like wrapping paper hacks, and so that's my
So
TikTok is different.
I have had some. I think it's delicious. It's chocolate with pistachio and
It's
like
a unique taste.
Is there a specific way they eat this when they make their videos? Is there
No.
like a bucket challenge?
They're
or
all
no?
just basic. No, I know bucket challenge. I did that. Hey, yes.
It is delicious, and
Everybody just talks about
mean,
it. And
Is it as delicious as I'm doing this right on the microphone? Josh is gonna yell at me. Is it like the most delicious?
Yeah, like is it a Ferrero
mean,
Rocher?
Oh, well, hold on, Ferrero Rocher
look at the
is
size of
like.
this. Look at the color.
Oh my God.
Look at this. I
Wow.
bought this for 11.
Can you show the audience of two?
I bought this for $11.99,
Which
in
is a
ShopRite.
bargain because I told her I saw it for sale in Wawa
Look
for
at that.
$19.99.
Look at that.
Talk about a
Look
markup.
at this. Look
This
at
is
this.
pistachio.
It's almost like we're on
Want the
QVC.
whole
Can
thing?
everyone at home
No,
see
break it.
how
Josh, you're
amazing
gonna
this
have to-
filling
Josh,
is?
you're gonna have to zoom
You're gonna
in.
zoom in and see how amazing this is.
There you go.
Thank you very much. Wow.
A piece for Regina George.
A piece for Regina George. A piece for Gretchen Wieners.
A piece for Gretchen Wieners. And
This is interesting.
we're gonna rate it.
A
I mean, I've had it
real
before,
live
but you guys
taste
tell me
test.
what you
what
think.
is-
Because I
I
have
need
never
to
tried
wait.
it.
What is the rating system? Like 0 is like it sucks, and 10 is like the best chocolate I've ever eaten.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, go on.
Riveting.
This is riveting content.
Crunchy.
It's good.
Don't chew into the microphones.
It's good.
Too late.
I like it.
Neither of you are like thrilled.
I mean, no, I like it a
It's
lot.
good.
This is not.
This is very above average.
It is. It's not chocolate though. Like
It's
what's
pistachio.
doing it for me is the middle part. Which
I mean, I
is,
love pistachio.
Like, oh,
I think it's very good.
How many Oompa Loompas would you rate?
How many Oompa Loompas would I give it?
Go on.
I don't
say-
think the chocolate in and of itself.
Not as a chocolate, but as a
is
flavor
like-
experience of
it's
sweetness.
a flavor
I
experience.
would say like a 7.
Yeah. 8 maybe?
Like, is it worthy of the insane hype
No.
No.
that has caused a
the hype that
worldwide
I just
chocolate?
learned about like an hour ago? No.
Yeah.
It's swept
Because-
the nation.
It swept the world.
I don't understand.
I have had
Dubai.
other,
I
I haven't heard of it.
I have had other type of things that have like the center.
Is it
and the
actually made in
nuts,
Dubai?
like-
I don't think so. I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Why do they call it Dubai chocolate?
I think this like
I thought it wasn't.
I think this recipe kind of originated from Dubai.
Oh.
Potentially. I don't guys, I don't know, man. You're asking me these things. I don't know.
Hey, it's made in Wayne, New Jersey.
What?
That's like 10 minutes from here.
It's true it is.
Are we in
No,
Dubai?
no.
Are
It
we
says,
in Dubai?
It says imported and distributed
Oh, I only read the
by
the
B
Wayne.
Max in Wayne.
Where does it say
It's
where it's
made in Turkey.
So still not
that's
Dubai.
not Dubai.
Still not
Turkey. Turkey. Is that how you
Geography's not my thing, but I know that Turkey is not,
Not
Dubai.
Dubai. Look, I think this was very riveting content. I think perhaps
So, in terms of the legality or whatever
of the-
of the movie, how many
was a
Oompa
train
Loompas
wreck.
are we giving it?
Well, it was a mess.
It's a
no,
0.
zero.
Because there's no legal
They got
ramifications for anything.
nothing right at all
At
in
all.
terms of anything with any legal consequences. So no Oompa Loompas. Entertainment-wise,
10.
yeah.
10 Dubai chocolates.
10 Dubai chocolates. Yes. Well, we did it.
We did it. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed our chocolate review. Or perhaps we should stick to podcasting about movies rather than doing food reviews. I don't know that we're very,
Next
riveting
time let's do
food
McDonald's
critics.
fries. I love McDonald's fries.
I do too.
Yeah, let's do that.
10 fries.
10 fries. Okay. We'll work it into the movie.
No, next time we're gonna rate apple pies.
And I wonder why.
We shall see. We shall
That's
see.
a little
I
hint.
love me some apple pie. We'll see if I still love it.
We're gonna go to Bandcamp with an apple pie.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right, guys.
All right. Thank
With
you.
that teaser, we
Yes.
will see you next time. Follow us on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Spotify.
And you
Please tell your friends.
Tell your friends. We are on YouTube. Let's Ruin It podcast. We are on Instagram, where we post our funny reels and memes and
we think they're
things.
funny.
We think they're funny.
We're fun.
The three of
Hopefully
you
you
who
would.
continue to follow us probably think we're funny too.
That's right.
Thank you for listening.
Okay, bye,
you so
Allison.
Thank you. And, send us your suggestions
Yeah.
for next time.
See you guys next time.
Take care.
Bye.